So I would like to switch. I don't know how much time you have left, but I would like to switch. You let me know. Do you have more time?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. So I would like to switch. Just let me know that you can see my screen. So this is a, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a game I call Garifuna Language, and it's where I will show you some images and ask you to tell me the Garifuna word for that image, and we can discuss the images as we go along.
So
Sounds good?
what you want here is a translation for the word school.
Yes.
All right, so school, and we had called it Luba Frente. When I was a child, la escuela guayale.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors, I don't remember them. Beba furendera, beba la escuela. But recently I learned that la escuela la Luba Frente tiribe. So we're gonna go with that, Luba Frente.
And in terms of teaching, what inspired you to want to be able to teach our youths, our children?
You mean in my regular job at the
Yes.
college? When I began here, when I came to the United States, I quickly went to junior high school for a few months, and then to high school. While I was in high school, I worked also. I always worked after school. I didn't really have a life of a young person, because we came here to struggle. We were poor. We had to help our parents. So I went to school and I went to work after school all the time. And I worked Saturday and Sundays. First I started in the factories, and then later I went to work in the supermarket as a cashier, as a young person. Went to James Monroe High School. And from James Monroe High School, I wanted to study outside of the city. I was always have this inspiration of being a writer somehow when I was in high school, but I also liked the arts. So I must have written something in high school. I was in a bilingual program, and they read what I wrote. I had just gotten here a year, and they read what I wrote and they liked it, and they placed me in a college bound program. I think that's what it was at that time. There were 15 students in that program, and they were teaching us how to advance in our reading and read literature, different things, so that we can go to college. So there was a guidance counselor who was so great, and he helped us so we can go to college. I ended up going to Marist College. I would say my first 2 years I spent at Marist College, and then later on I transferred to Bard. When I went to Marist College, I majored in literature, and I enjoyed it. But then I still love the arts. Marist didn't have dance art, so I went to Bard, further upstate in Annandale on Hudson, which is about 2.5 hours away from New York City, and to major in drama, acting, and dancing, because I wanted to somehow be on a stage, and I wanted to know how to do that. Okay, so when I graduated, I came to the city as I take classes in the city to understand how the city worked, taking jazz classes, modern dance, African dance, because at Bard it was a concentration in modern dancing and classical ballet and creative dancing. So a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, Luz, come to my school." She was working here in Ogden Avenue at a school 229 on Ogden Avenue. She was a music teacher, and we used to study the Haitian dance class um, in downtown Manhattan. She would say to me, "Oh, come on to my school. I'm the music teacher. You will be the dance teacher." I say, "I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be a performer. I don't never want to be a teacher. I don't want to go to school teach nothing. I want to be on the stage, because that was like a dream, right?" So I went there because she said, "Oh, you'll be up at 3 and you can still do the art." So I went to the school, and they threw me in a second grade classroom to teach reading, everything for the second graders, math, reading, because if you're a second grade teacher, you have to teach everything except dance. And so the children were all over the place, everywhere. They couldn't find a teacher for that group. And at that time, I guess they were just taking anybody and they threw me in there. Okay. They all did good. They went to their third grade because in Honduras, we used to have a very, very good education system. So that really helped me, even though I only went to sixth grade in Honduras. The education
Mhm.
I had from Honduras during that time in the 70s is the best. I have my teachers, la profesora Inés Martinez, Ana Alvarez, Alma Luina was my first grade teacher, and my second grade teacher was the profesora Antonieta Savio. Excellent teacher. I had the best teachers. So that helped me or help work with those kids. And in between my education, I always took one education course here and there just in case. So that helped me. The next year, they gave me a kindergarten class. I still wasn't teaching dance.
Wow.
And then from there, they sent me to another school. There, you will teach dance. They need a dance teacher. I got there. They put me inside a second grade class. No dancing. The following year, second grade. The following year, second grade. And I said, I have to get out of here because what I want to do is teach dance. But the kids were doing good. They were happy. They didn't want to go home. I understood how to teach. I don't know how I understood how to teach kids. They loved it. Whenever I didn't come to school, they would cry and cry. And then the next day, where were you, teacher? You weren't here yesterday. It was really nice. Eventually, the principal in PS 70, where they sent me, he gave me my dance program, and I was happy about that. The kids, I did a lot of performances with them. The Nutcracker Ballet, the cultural dances from the different countries. We did Swan Lake Ballet, anything, they really loved it. So one time I was really exhausted from all of that, and I got into real estate. I left the school to do real estate because I wanted to make real good money. Because in the early 80s, you really didn't make that much money in the schools. Now they make a lot of money. Now, but I would never go back to the school. I'm sorry. Because it's different now. But I always, have my dance company. I teach the youth. Um, Real estate during in the 2008, the Wall Street had a, like Humpty Dumpty break fall. And I went back into teaching 1 year in junior high school, and then they hired me in Boricua College. So I've been there. This year will be 14 years. And I enjoy working with adults.
Congratulations. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I enjoy working with adults. I like it. In all this time, I started my dance company in 2000 in 1992. So we were always teaching the Garifuna through the songs to the youngsters. They learn the songs, they learn the dances, understand the culture. So there are times when people talk about what is your destiny and what is your plan. I would, at this point of my life, I would not be able to answer that question because you plan one thing and are we destined for something else? I never planned to be a teacher, but I ended up teaching all my life to this day. And the writing that when I was in high school, a teacher of mine, a tutor asked me, what do you want to be when you, go to college or something? Well, I want to be a writer. I would like to be a writer. But my librarian at that time, because I was a poor girl, she said, like, you're choosing the wrong thing. You shouldn't choose to be a writer because you want to choose something where you're gonna learn a trade, learn something so you can get work quickly. And that kind of slowed me down from believing that I could be a writer. Um, she was right in her perception about us because we are poor. We do need something to get work quickly. She in her mind she's speaking because she cares, right? However, why not motivate me to really be a writer, right? So I started it in my first 2 years, but I didn't continue it, and I went on into something else. And it's funny how I end up writing as well now, right? I have another book that should come out anytime. For children, this is in the preservation of the language. That's what I'm doing. I don't write novels. or anything. It's just the Garifuna language because I want this language to be preserved.
Mhm. Mhm. Alright. Thanks for sharing that. That definitely gives a more 360 view of how you ended up where you are. So,
Mm-hmm.
certainly, thanks for sharing that.
You're
So,
welcome.
school in Garifuna, we say
Luba Frende.
Luba friend,
Luba
and again,
Furende.
Luba friend.
Right. The Bafurende you're learning. The house of the
Mhm.
learning, I guess, if you were to literally. Yeah, ni budia furendera. So it's a muna, it's a house of the
Mhm.
learning. Luba
Mhm.
Frende. Mm-hmm. That's a nice picture. Right. Arufu Dahatu is a teacher. Arufu
Right.
Dahatu.
Mm.
Arufu Dahatu. So that's the teacher. It's a nice classroom. I like the uniform there. It's beautiful.
This is from also the previous picture. These are images from Gulisi.
Oh,
So
great.
that's them doing their
Maybe they're doing
performance,
lessons. Yeah.
and then this is them or another set of students in a classroom
That's
with a
beautiful.
teacher.
I can see the Arufu Dahatu at the end of the at her
Mm-hmm.
desk. Right. So Arufu Dahati is the male. Arufu Dahatu is the female. So you know it's a male or female when you look at the last syllable,
Mm-hmm.
in the last letter. The I pertains to the male. The U pertains to the female. Arufudahatu is a female. Arufudahati is a male. All right? Interesting language, Garifuna. Nihati egi, lung wakriha, faluma, yuga, furume warikate, egi. Mhm.
This is a grater that we use to grate cassava, which is also called yuca, and also coconuts.
Coconut.
Um, mhm.
Yeah. Or furume warikate or anything else. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nihati garang,
This is the picture of the drum. Hmm.
garang, la farunyati, damburia, dumb. Dumb is also the word for garang.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
So
first I'm hearing that one.
you call the drummer Dumbri,
Mm-hmm.
Dumburia, because he plays the uh, dumb, about laugh only dumb, the drum. Garang, tiwanya lung in another words for a synonym. So di vengo dumbe dumb dumbri. So
That's
dumbe
funny.
play,
Hmm.
dumb drum, dumbria drummer.
Hmm.
Dumbe dumb.
And what does the Garfina drums mean to you?
It's a very important instrument. It's the preservation of the ancestors in nature, connecting the ancestors with nature. The tree is forever part of nature, and the skin of the animal as well, to the animal kingdom, respect for the animal kingdom. And then you have a mibi, the mibi is the rim around it. Labuguru, all of that is of nature, and which connect us to our ears to listen to a language that comes from it. You could be somewhere else. When you understand Garifuna, you will know what is going on that other side if they're playing the drum. You will know if they're doing the good ceremony or if they just playing around with a paranda for the moment or they singing uyenu. You will know if the women are singing the fedu, or Ahe punta luwe, ahe ni luwe hilali, punta babagamba ari busuba subu dirube la daga.
Mhm.
Basu dirube again. Kalaiba gube irahi rube afarubanya or waynamuhela, like this such amazing language that we can obtain from the drums and how it links us with the ancestor is just amazing. Because when you hear those big drums, la nigi garao is the big one, la nigi garao,
Mhm.
in the buyaba, during the ancestral rites of the good. It is so amazing where it places you. You get goosebumps from this rhythm that is played to accompany the songs that tells our story of the ancestors. So it's very sacred. That's why people shouldn't sit on the drum. People shouldn't put their feet on the drum. People should take care of the drum. And every Garifuna should have two drums, at least two drums in their house. A primera drums and a segunda drum and a pair of maracas.
And segunda is the larger drum, and primero is the smaller drum.
Yeah, primera is smaller, but it's also you can see by the thing that's on top of it. The like the primera will have a metal string.
Mm.
It could be big, but once it has that metal string, it's a primera because the sound that comes up. The segunda has a cordel, like a rope kind of cross, right? Mm-hmm. And the big drum is a rope as well, a small like a casalire, guniri maligi, guniri matia. Um, magamo nani dumure guniri. They come out sometimes when you're in this conversation, the words, right? So that will tell you if it's primera y segunda. That looks like one of my drums too. What it says in it? What it says on that drum?
Uh, um, maybe Lomalali?
Lumala,
I'm
the
guessing. I
voice.
can't see the end of it,
Uh,
but I'm guessing it says Lomalali.
Lumala, the voice.
Maybe it's something else. I'm not sure.
Hmm. Yeah, so the drummer is a Dumbaria. Garifuna flag, Fanny Dira, Fanny Dira, with the logo in the middle. Yeah. Hahura Hamagriga Hafandira. So the name of uh, Hafandira Garinagu, Garifuna flag, Hafandira Garinagu. That will be the translation for that. But the word flag is Fanidira. But if you want to say the Garifuna flag, then you will say Hafanidira Garinagu.
And what does the Garifuna flag mean to you?
Well, the Garifuna flag, it being that we had embraced it, right? And I hope that one day we'll just have one flag because in Honduras, they're using a flag with the yellow at the top, in Belize with the black at the top. And there was one point when it was black at the top or the yellow at the top in Belize. And then later on, they realized what TV Vincent Thomas Ramos did. He did it this way with the black at the top, but they were in the early time of Belize, that's how people learned the yellow at the time. So there should be a conversation where everyone would just come in agreement to just have one flag, just like the way Vincent Thomas Ramos had it, right? Because everybody makes mistakes, but people are not understanding. The mistakes are mistakes, and let's rectify them. Let's have one flag. The flags are sacred, they represent the people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Benara, I agree. All right, so this picture is meant to represent family.
All
How would
right.
we say family?
Mm-hmm.
Lida Garifuna.
Family, ni nebafago is one word. My family. Ni duhen. Ni duhenyo. I duhenyo. I nebafago. Those are the words for family. Yeah. I nebafago. I duhenyo. Yeah.
And what does family mean to you?
Very important. Just like Garifuna, always close circle, keeping taking care of. The grandmother would take care of her grandchild like it was her own. The auntie will take care of the niece and nephew like it was her own. We did that throughout time. There's no paying me for taking care of my niece. My sister shouldn't come and give me money because I took care of my niece. We helped each other all the time. This is the Garifuna way of keeping family together, helping each other. I anybody in the community will take care of that child. There was maybe now Garifuna people have orphanages. I never knew about orphanages in the Garifuna community
Mm,
because the people will take care of that child no
mm,
matter what. I don't know what's happening in the with the modern time if something is changing, but Garifuna people have always been caring at all time. Yeah, and
mhm.
family is very sacred. Yes. Calabash.
Um,
Uh,
right.
so what I'm seeing there, we call it rida.
Mhm,
Okay? Rida is a utensils that is used just like the big one that's holding the small ones in it that are used for as containers for fetching water, for putting juice, drinks. If you're gonna put something for your ancestors, ababichu nilida barida, ababichu duna lida barida, hombaguburi. And then Rida is useful for many things, and it's important to realize the importance of Rida, not cut the trees, because we also make the asisira, the maracas, from that fruit. Hmm.
Didn't even put, two and two together until you said that.
Ah,
And it's the same,
you're realizing
from
it,
the
right?
same, yes, the same tree, the same fruit that you make,
The-
both the Sisera, the
Mhm.
Shakar, and the Rita, the
Yeah.
container for carrying
Yeah.
food or drink.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, ma'am. Hey, Nyago Nanu. That's my dance.
Yeah, so this photo I took from the Facebook page of the Garifuna Heritage Center,
Oh,
the
wow.
dance,
That's
and it's
Catherine.
meant to represent dance.
Yeah. On your right is my daughter Catherine and
Mhm,
Ibelma on the other side. They wonderful dancers. And dance is a bina, honey,
mhm.
and we did this, I think it's the Bronx music. This is I see a lot of flags. I can't really remember where we did this. It might have been, I see a podium. And there were other cultures being shared here. See
Okay.
the background. In the background is a whole different group of where did we do this? We went to the I think it's the consulate of Honduras.
Ah,
There were people here representing Mexico or something like that.
mhm.
Dance is
Beautiful.
Abina honey.
Mhm,
Abina honey. It's part of our rituals as well. A culture cannot survive without the dances, without the songs, without the music or language. So
mhm,
this is one of the elements of the culture. Abina honey. Yes.
mhm,
Hanya get their fed what yeah.
mhm,
Garifuna people, Griya, Garinago, Garinago. Garina people is Garinago, you know.
mhm.
What am I looking at James Lavelle there?
No,
Oh no, 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 yeah. These are people from
this
Honduras.
this is when because I don't know if it was the first year I went, but in November they
Mm-hmm.
usually have the Garifuna Mass to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate
Oh,
Heritage
this at the church
Day,
there. Mm.
Belize. Yes,
Yeah.
and this is
Ligini
yes, the basement next to the church.
Yeah.
That they usually have the
The reception.
celebration after the mass. Yeah.
So anda Hondaru
in Brooklyn.
nyanyo nye.
Mm,
Gari na gunye.
mm.
Mhm.
And you get the Umbria, people, drummers
Nya get it dambri nye.
beating the dumbo. I can't remember.
After garang, the word that people know more is garang.
Is gone.
Mm.
I just learned the other word, the dumbo,
Dumb, dumb,
from you because of you.
dumb.
Mm,
It's a
so,
dumb. Dumb, dumb. In the dugu, you're gonna hear that. Dumb,
um,
dumb. Ah, bina wagie. Aburuganyanyo. Puye sinabwe. Chiluhanya duge hatinyo. When people sing that, you're gonna get goosebumps because it's everybody singing at the same time. Dumbo, Dumbo, you see, you hear it in the Dabuya, but that's word because it's ancient.
mhm,
Yeah, but most people will say Garang. But
mhm,
Dumbo is then the big La Niga Garang, the big drum.
mhm. The segunda, and then the smaller one, the
Yeah,
primera.
the Primera, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm. This
And
dictionary book.
meant to represent
Book
book
is
is the people person in a dictionary.
right. The word Garudia, they use it for books. They also use it for paper.
Mm,
Garudia. But because it's paper, would say Garudia. When I was a child, we call it libur. You know, magambo na hare wiya Garudia. Maybe the elders. Logo hata they, we couldn't find books in our home. I think the people were not allowed to really have books and
mm,
read. The Catholic Church was very consistent in making sure the people didn't really deal too much with literature,
mm,
you know, and the government in the old time didn't allow people. My father then went to school. He was only allowed to go to third grade.
mm,
Because to Garifuna at that time, he said they were only allowed up to third grade.
mm,
Later on, people can go to fifth, and by the time I went to school, I went up to sixth grade, right?
mhm,
And then you can go to college if you can continue. But in the early time, people could only go to certain grades. My mom only went to first grade, so it would depend it also in the situation. If you didn't have money for notebooks or pencils, you couldn't even go to school, right?
mhm,
So Garudia is the word for book.
mhm. So, other than what we've spoken about, um, the the writing as an author, um, dancing, teaching dancing, you know, the the being educated in acting, performing ballet, teaching cultural dance. What other talents or habits do you engage in, on your downtime other than what we've spoken about?
Sometimes it's hard to speak about the self again, right?
Mhm,
Because it sounds as if we are like, oh, she knows it all. There are times when I don't want to engage in certain things because people say, oh, she's everywhere except in church.
mhm,
But I can sew, because again, as I say earlier, I used to run to the factory and work for an hour and a half. And then later, in summers, I worked in the fashion industry as well, making pattern for,
mm,
the pattern that we make will be sent overseas for people to mass produce.
oh,
So it was
wow.
like a good learning experience for me. I
Mhm,
also worked in at the um, Radio City Music Hall making the Rockettes costumes. So I know how to make costumes and I know how to sew, but I only sew for my dance company. I don't
mhm,
really engage too much in it because it requires time. You have to,
mhm,
and I'm always, working with students, teaching. That's my job to earn a living. But the art is my primary thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so my mother used to help me also teaching. Sewing. She was great. She loved the dance. My mom, she would
Mm-hmm.
sew the skirts so she can see the girls twirling on them with them, dancing. Um, Writing is something that I would love to have more time to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
very difficult to find time to do it. My job doesn't really allow that much time, only in the night. I sometimes go to sleep late trying to create. I have quite a few. I've written a musical that I want to produce soon.
Mm.
And
And
then,
I think that's, an industry that we need to delve in terms of like Garifuna, topics and experiences. At least that's the perspective with which I am um I'm thinking, hearing you talking about musicals, and
yes,
putting on shows.
yeah.
That's what I thought about when you said that.
If people if our people, and we can do it, and maybe this is asking the people to purchase the books, and then every child should have a book. Let's say I have two books. Every child will have a book, right? Then I will
Mhm,
have probably, I don't have to go to work every day. Then I have more time to write because
mhm.
I have to make a living. That's why
Yeah,
I enjoy
like
teaching
all of
where
us.
I am
Yes,
now, but
yes. You have to pay the bills. You have to make
gotta
sure
pay the bills.
things
So
are taken
it's a little
care
bit,
of. Yep.
from our end, if people purchase more books for their kids, utilize the books, I think it will create more funds to create other things,
Yes.
right? I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Mm-hmm.
hopefully things get better in the future
Yes.
where
Mm-hmm.
our people will purchase the books for children to have. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is a book that everybody should have. Um, we should have these books. The Dictionary from Reyes should exist in every home. And that one that you just showed of the People's Dictionary, that should
Mm-hmm.
exist everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a dictionary that helped me tremendously in certain things. And I was really happy because a lot of the words that our the Musiano Roy Cayetano put in his book, I'm gonna put a little closer here, put in his book,
Mm-hmm.
um, very, very, very connected because he's from Dangiriga. He's
Mm-hmm.
from Belize, and I'm from Honduras. So it's to tell the youngster it's the same language.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
the same language. So Manufu de Dahuma, don't be afraid. Purchasing a book written by Garifuna from Honduras. And this dictionary, hopefully, we do something so it will be circulated everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Salvador Suazo or Garifuna dictionary. And then
Mm-hmm.
the Garifuna Duchess, she have written a book too about her spirituality. We should all have that book. We should all help Garifuna writers uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can write more material,
Right.
particularly for our youth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Produce more material and different forms of, expression so that more people learn about our culture, our language, and have a better appreciation for it.
Mhm.
I think, in terms of, I think some of the, I would say, neglect or disinterest in our culture and our language is because, sometimes parents or guardians or the community, do not show enough appreciation for our culture and language. And by extension, we or indirectly we teach our children, our youths, the younger people, not to appreciate it. But if we show them why and how it's valuable and why it should be
Mm.
appreciated and cherished and the language should be practiced, then they will gain a greater appreciation for it. So
Yes.
I definitely have great respect for you and people like you who are making a difference in changing that narrative and investing in yourself and your talent and showing a different way. Even though you, like you said, you have professional responsibilities to pay the bills, but you
Yes.
still find time to make sure you invest in making sure our language and culture continues. So, Sarah, much appreciated for that.
Thank you for having this program, because this program is going to be, where do you see it? How do you see it? Where do
Um,
you,
I have so much
Gary talk,
that I
Gary
can
on
say,
talk?
so much that I can, visualize and imagine. But the whole idea is to be able to just have as many people, especially younger people, gain a better appreciation for our culture and our language. And want to learn the language, appreciate the culture, make the steps to be able to learn the language,
That's
and
beautiful.
have a better appreciation for it so that it continues for generation to come. So
That's
that's the whole
beautiful.
idea.
But
And that's
do
people
you
like
hear
you. Yeah.
Gary on talks? Is that on Facebook or?
Um, the main, well, in terms of full episodes, it's released, a full episode that is released monthly on YouTube. So if you want to see the full episodes,
Okay,
it's on YouTube, which
awesome.
means you don't need you don't need to sign up. You just need to have the link or search for it.
Gary on talks, and it will be right there.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, the videos
Beautiful.
are there.
Thank you so
I do
much.
short videos. Post the full videos. I promote them on the different social medias. You know, provide different clips so that you could have an idea what the show is about. So I feel very blessed and honored to be able to talk to people like you, our Garifuna people, to learn about you, your experiences, and why you do what you do. And I think that's important. Showing people examples of what they could be or what could be is very important. We need that positive influence. So thank you, Miss Luz. Thank you for all that you do, you know, and what's to come, and all that's to come for you.
Yeah, thank you, Dorette, for making this program exist, because it's a inspiration for young people to realize that they can do positive things. A lot of our young people are so talented, but sometimes they don't realize they can use it for positive things like what you're doing right now. I see a lot of talk in Facebook with young girls cursing and criticizing others, and they speak so well, but negatively. However, when they see programs like this, they hopefully, it will inspire them to use their talent in a way that is more productive. You're a great inspiration for our Garifuna youth. Thank you for having this program, Gari-On Talks. Awesome.
Yeah, it's appreciated. That means a lot coming from you. Um, so let's proceed to finish up. So we saw samples of your work already. You showed us both your
There
books,
it is.
Garifuna Picture Dictionary,
Mhm.
Learn Garifuna Now.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Thank you for making these publications. And I think once more people are aware that they exist, if they don't already know, they'll be able to purchase it and learn more and invest some time in learning the Garifuna language
Mhm.
and by extension learning more about our culture and have a greater appreciation for it. So, Jeremy.
Thank you so much. I
Of course.
also want to commend and um, appreciate the work of my daughter, Catherine Oshun Solis Ray, who is the one that creates the cover for the book.
Oh,
And
they're beautiful. She is
all
so
the
talented.
formation inside the book. She's the one that creates all the formation because she's so computer
Savvy.
savvy that she's able. So she helps her mom
Nice.
in everything. She's beautiful. She's,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
yesterday was her birthday, so she's
Latest
31 years old.
birthday, friend. Beautiful.
She's a Capricorn as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, like
Nice.
yourself. What you're doing right now, that's leading. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So this is the Facebook page for Wabafu
Awesome.
Garifuna Dance Theater in the Bronx,
Yes.
and where I got the photo of dance to represent dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you are the founder of the Garifuna Heritage Center for the Arts and Culture um there in the Bronx. So in terms of, you know, where how you started off in terms of the dance theater to where you are now,
Yeah.
what's your reflection on how much you have achieved?
That's a long time. When I was dancing in the college, I learned modern dancing, African dancing, Haitian dancing. Everybody else is dancing except Garifuna
Mhm.
dancing because we don't really have schools for to teach you Garifuna dancing. You just have to know Garifuna dancing, and if you left your hometown like I did, early time, children were not allowed to participate in the dances, only adults. So that was a problem for me when I began my dance company. I knew all the dances from everywhere: European, folk dance, modern dance, classical dance, but I didn't really understand the difference between one dance and the other in my own culture. And I thought that was really sad, right? But why? Because in Honduras, which is a Spanish country, it was always a something with the mainstream to shadow our culture, making us think that it's no good.
Mm,
So our people began to believe, that's they to the point where they used to say that Garifuna was a dialect. It's not a dialect. It's a language, and it's a complete language. So we were looking at our dances like they just minor, and everything else is higher. Later on, when I went to college, I realized, wait a minute, the dance of my culture is great too. But I did not know when I began my company in 1992. I didn't even know one song in Garifuna. That's
mm,
probably another interview, Dorette, for another time because it's a long story. How they neglected the children during the old time, and the elders would go to the Fedu, Lunharemo a Garifuna, to sing the Garifuna song, and they will send us the children to sing La Pastoras. La Pastora, those are the Aguinaldo, I think the songs for Jesus.
mm,
Guatiwaremo, Hatiuremo, in Spanish. So
mm,
all these Spanish songs, but we did not know as children songs in Garifuna. And I thought that was really sad. So when I started my company, I had to do a lot of research to learn songs. And it took a long time because I didn't know one song, not one
mm. Oh,
of
wow.
Garifuna songs, right? There's a young man named Francisco Ruiz who taught me one song for Ponta. So we were singing that one song, and to the point where people say, they're singing the same song.
Well, if that's what you know, then
And nobody came to volunteer to say, Luz, let me help you with some
mhm,
song. That's another thing
mhm,
we get in the people. Instead of going
mm,
to help, they would just
mhm,
sit back and criticize. They would people criticize,
criticize, yeah.
Luz doesn't know anything.
Add to the problem instead of try to find a solution.
Right. People spoke, Luz doesn't know anything. She don't know what she's doing. She shouldn't do anything. Instead of, and I will ask elders to come, come and teach us, Abai Mahani, teach us Sambe. I have to travel to Honduras, watch the people then dance, to then begin to realize the steps, the meaning of the step, because people were not very kind, our own people, very
Mm,
kind in sharing, because they knew, and if I didn't know that much, they want to treat me as if I'm ignorant, right?
mm,
And again, like I said to you, we don't have, to this day, I do invite people to come and learn, but people are still not consistent in coming to practice to learn the dances in a continuous basis. People are not accustomed to that school. It's a hard thing, very hard. We offer classes for free. All the people that are participating with us throughout the years, it's free classes to learn the
mhm,
dances and then participate in the dance company, which is Wabafo Garifuna Dance Theater.
mhm,
Eventually, I would travel. My aunt, thank God, that my grandmother, my great grandmother, my father's mom, right? My great grandmother made the songs. So an aunt of mine, she will record the songs, and I will bring songs. And there were other aunts that would record songs for me, and we didn't have as much material like we have now. You can go to YouTube and get,
mhm,
oh my God, endless amount. There
mhm,
was no
mhm,
YouTube. There was no internet. There was nothing. I have to travel to Honduras, and a couple of people here who would give a few, um, information. And there was a woman also there, Manuela Savio, who I think she lives in Honduras now. She had a dance company, and then that was also inspiration. I got a few tapes from Crisanto Melendez. They came to New York. I watched the way they dance, and that's how I began to learn. But the main thing that helped me was the travel. Anytime I went to Trujillo during that time when I was working in the public school, I worked in the public school for 12 years. And Christmas was, as soon as Christmas got there, I would take the plane and I would be in Trujillo. And
mm,
in Trujillo to this day, our people practice the culture like it was before Guanaragua. You see Guanaragua, you see a lot of these things. And the beautiful thing is that now the teachers, they integrate the children into the knowledge, right, of the culture,
mhm,
which is a
mhm.
good thing. Yeah. It
Beautiful.
wasn't it wasn't easy. So I founded Garifuna Heritage Center for the Arts and Culture because I was teaching what I know as I knew it. And then the choreographing, and later on, the name of the company in the beginning was Hamalali Wayuno Garifuna Dance Company. And now, recently, for the past, I think, 5 years, we changed it to
Mhm,
Wabafu Garifuna Dance Theater. And it's still thriving. It's not easy. It's not easy because, again, people are not accustomed of allowing their children to learn the arts. People will say to the children, "Oh, Gabina Haiti Punta, you know how to dance Punta, you don't have to go to Luz's place. And if you're going there to practice every day, she should pay you." So people expect you to pay their children as you're teaching them, and then they expect you to buy everything that they need. They expect you to give them snacks. They expect you to buy them uniform. They expect you to, even practically, if you can pick them up, to come and learn. That's the thing that people should change. Be a little more aware of the need of the children, the
mhm,
youngsters. All the youngsters that have come to my company, if I saw one parent from time to time, it was a big deal. They didn't even come to see what the youngsters are learning. You know, they might purchase a ticket to come see the show, or they might not purchase it and say to their child, "I'm not going to lose this concert." You're not coming to
mm.
see Luz concert. You are
Going to see your
supporting.
child perform.
Yeah, you're coming to see, number one, your child on stage that has been given this opportunity, that have been taught for free, I don't even ask them for a cup of coffee. This is too much information, but I don't ask them for anything. But I give them everything they need to learn. You learn the songs, you learn about the dances, you learn the history. That could serve you in the future to um, to be able to charge for information you're gonna give in the future, and be able to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and you got it for free. But
Mm-hmm.
the parents have not yet realized the importance and the value of what their youngster, because these are grown people now. The youngster now realize it, but the parents took them a long time to realize, oh, my child went to your school and you taught my child, so now he's earning a living teaching part of the culture, right? So we need to learn how to appreciate our our culture, our talent, and the people that play a part in it as well. Take care of the people. We have a lot of singers that sang for us for years, and now they're sick. They can't sing anymore. They don't have anything. Let us, create something, a foundation to give them money so they can eat. We shouldn't neglect our artists. So one thing I'm gonna ask Garifuna people. I'm sorry, Darren, I'm taking your program to ask that. Let us not neglect our artists, singers, that began Punta Rap, that began Punta in the recording portion of all of that. And even the Gayusas that continue to sing the song so we can hear them, thanks to them. Because
Mm-hmm.
without the Gayusa, how will we know? The people from the Fedu, from Honduras, Guatemala, Belize. It's a lot of work to be done. Yeah.
General, that's true, and thanks for sharing that, and making us realize how much of a big deal this is. Especially if you're a parent and you're busy. You yourself don't have knowledge of the dance, the history, the songs, and here is a school, a dance theater that does this for free. I mean, come
Free,
on,
free.
come on. All we have to do is do our part,
Yeah,
and
totally free.
so
And they
thank you
know.
for all that you do and for continuing even after all these years to provide these services to our youths. And I'm sure, like you said, they gain a lot of youths have gained greater appreciation for the culture, the dance, the songs, thanks to you and the team from Mobile Football from the Dance Theater. So thank you for all that you do and continue to do.
Thank you, Dorette. Thank you for having this program. Thank you
Of
for
course.
having me here today. You're inspiring me.
You're inspiring me. So now that we've come to this portion, I guess it will be this and then the final question. So, you know, where do you see yourself in the next year or the next few years? What's next for you?
I would like to have more time for writing to create material for our youth in the language, in the preservation of the language of Garifuna. And so, if there are people that can, help to perhaps purchase the books, use the books in the school, recommend the books, or their own recommendation as to what else. I have quite a few that need publication. I just haven't had time to put the finished touch. And though the writers, how it is, editing takes so much. It takes time to put out material. You write it. I write very quickly, but then to fix it, to edit it takes time. um, I would like to do the production of the musical that I've written, so that we can have musicals that connect our culture with the arts. And this is, that's basically what I would like to do in the future. Have more time for writing and creating material for even babies, because the one that I have right now is for younger even younger generation to be able to read. I try to put it in simple Garifuna, as simple as I can, but it's very hard because when you connect the verbs, then all of a sudden everything is longer, like because then sometimes the person is connected to the root word,
Mhm.
the verb is there, and also the past and the present in one word.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
gets long. I was trying to write a book for when my grandson was 3 years old, so he can read it. But
Mhm.
like it became something else. Then I just wanted to have a book of one page, and it ended up to be of 100 pages. It ended up to be more than 200 pages. So I'm like,
Oh,
God,
wow.
what do I do now? And
Mhm.
there's a book that was just to name certain words that are simple, like da, bang, um, like small, 3-letter words like that. Gang, bang, It ended up like, in order to say, give me the um socks, and then now you have to umbo bang. No, okay, a 3-year-old can read that. But then if you he gone now is more than 3 letters, and it was like a little challenging, using
Mhm.
three. I wanted to write a book that only with words that only have 2 letters, like da, you know uh, but it became challenging after a while, because our language, as simple as it seems, becomes complex as well, to make it that simple. So the children would just have to memorize looking at the words and memorize having to read it, because some words you can't shorten them. That's what I learned through that. Um, but we just continue, and I just want to ask teachers, those of you that have literatures in your rooms, look at them, pattern through them, and create material for our children to have.
Think the more you you think of something, or you recognize um do you recognize an issue or and want to solve it, that's where you're inspired to come up with a way to figure it out, to find a solution. I
Yeah.
think, that's the so-called wavelength to which, I see certain things, or that's how you're inspired, you know,
Mhm.
because you want to find a solution.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Mhm.
Unification is very important. People
Mhm.
coming together to discuss issues of the language, realizing this is our language, that we have preserved it throughout the years. Our ancestors worked hard to preserve the language. And I want to say to people from Central America, we are Garinagu, no matter what. I am Garifuna, we are Garinagu, and that's what our ancestors said that we were. They didn't say that we are something else, Afrodescendientes, that they, somewhere in Honduras, sometimes they try to erase
Mhm.
Garinagu um, to kind of cover it with Afro-descendant. Yes, we are African descendant with the Arawak. We are Garinagu. And people have to continue to say Garinagu, because, that whole thing about removing the word Garinagu or Garifuna is dangerous.
Garinago Magia. We are
Garinagu again. Yes.
Garinago. That's
Yes,
it.
correct. Yes.
All right. So, in terms of people wanting to connect with you, maybe purchase your books or purchase the materials that you produce, or maybe sign up for some of the classes at the dance theater. How would people connect with you?
People can go Number one, the books, my materials are on Amazon. Learn Garifuna. If you put Luz Soliz-Ramos, the book will come up, and the Pictionary is also in Kindles, which people who have those smart boards, you can put it in and work with your children. You can ask them questions. This way of learning the language. My email lsoliz soliz 77 at gmail.com. You can write to me, or you can also the dance company. We are in Garifuna Dance at gmail.com. Um, and our website, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me right now, but it's wabafu dance.com. All right.
Dance.com.
All right. Right. So if anything, I will write to you so you can perhaps input whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Should I have the card in
The
front of
email address.
me?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, sounds good.
So, Wabafu Dance Company, if you go to Facebook, Wabafu Dance Company, and there's information there where people can contact us in many ways for performances, all right? And
Mm-hmm.
anything, Le Messi. Sometimes people just want something small for Le Messi, or sometimes they want a performance and to know that we exist and we here.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So, um, so in terms of your legacy, when people hear the name Luz Soliz-Ramos, when that day and that time comes, what do you want people to think? How do you want people to remember you? What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, when I'm not here anymore, I think if people mention my name, sometimes people might not pinpoint exactness, but they will pinpoint a person that was persistent, a person that was happy, and a person that cared about, in this case, the culture. Of all the dances, my favorite is Wanaragua. I like all the dances, but Wanaragua is my one of my favorite because it has such impact in the strength of our male, and the story of how they struggled to continue to maintain their land. And one of the things about us that I want people to remember is that our land, wherever we are now, is very, very important for our future generation to have a place to call home. And that's one thing that I want people to think about, the importance of land ownership. You might see me with the arts just to take words across in a fast way, but yet land ownership is very important. I want to implant that in the mind and the heart of our people, that it's very important to make sure that we take care of our land wherever we are.
Experiment. Um,
Also, one little thing, what is
mhm,
not written doesn't exist, right? So
mhm,
writing is very important for us to write our own story. People that wants to write, do it, do it, do it. Because look at this gentleman who wrote this book over 350 years ago. It still exists for his name and his legacy, even though it's about our own language. That's Raymond Breton. This book is in Amazon. It's in French. Google Translate can translate the French portion for you, and you're gonna know what he's saying. And the Garifuna portion, if you speak Garifuna, you can make up a lot of it. But if you don't write, others will write for us, and that's dangerous because they will put their own story however they want it, and then what what our youngsters are going to read, um, 100 years from now, other people's writing. It is time that we begin to write our own story. This whole thing about the shipwreck that's a fantasy. Our people were in St. Vincent before Columbus got there. We have to know that, right? We are from this hemisphere. We're indigenous to this side of the world. Yes.
Right. So, Luz Soliz-Ramos, I want to thank you for being willing, for sharing, for, teaching us more about what inspires you, what motivates you, what you look forward to, how you do what you do, why you do what you do. And, I wish you all the best with what's to come. I look forward to seeing what else you're able to produce, what you're able to publish. So much appreciated for doing what you can to make sure our culture is preserved for the next generation and continuing to inspire our youths, our younger people. So much
Yes.
appreciated for all that you do and all that you will do in the future. So I want to um, give you the last words. Any last words?
Well, I think I said everything I have to say, Dorette. I think one of the things that I would like people to get engaged a little more in is the importance of literature, writing, creating material for our youngsters, um, people that have land, documenting their land. Make sure your land is documented. You have your own document in your name, because times is gonna come where people gonna want to remove you from where you are, but you have your document. The other thing is to tell people, let's start putting structures on the land. People come together to put structures. If you have beach area, put a condominium. Come together and put it. Just put it. Let's not keep thinking about where the money. There's a lot of money within the Garifuna community, and let's just put the money to use. There's a lot of celebrations of. I don't want to get into people's celebration what they spend their money with, but some of the money can be gathered to create structures in the land that will be useful in the future of our generation, so that it's not looked at as if we don't care. We care. That even if people care about their land. And so I again congratulate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Terme.
Créeme,
Ayo.
créeme. Ayo.